Now we have Garg, who's the Vice President of Indian Rice Exporters Federation, joining us to discuss the impact of the war in West Asia, what it means for exporters as of now, and what's the issue that is going on. Mr. Garg, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. If you could just start by talking to us about the impact that's come in the last week, especially for exporters as well. What are we seeing for rice exports? Anything in terms of reduction in exports that you all have seen, or the ships that have been stopped as well?
So the biggest casualty of this war has been the marine fuel cost. Today, the bunker fuel cost, which is the main ingredient for all ocean voyages, because the rice is a very bulky item, it is transported by ocean. So any increase in ocean freight will have a major bearing on all our exports. So today, that marine fuel cost before start of this war was at $520. Today, it is at $800. And it is expected that this will go up further. So internationally, if you look at the freight prices, they have gone up by more than 20% in the past 1 week. Even container freights have gone up more than 40%. This has far-reaching implications for all our exports beyond the Middle East as well. Today, if we look at our major markets, which is the West African market and the North American market, so the freight rates have, in some cases, have gone up till 400%. So this is a very concerning situation because today, all our exports have been hit. Export to the Middle East, which is the biggest market for Indian Basmati rice, it constitutes more than 50% of all our Basmati rice exports, have come to a grinding halt. All our exports are there in three scenarios. Firstly, there are many shipments that are stuck at Indian ports. As per estimates received yesterday, about 3,000 containers are stuck at the Mundra and Kandla port, which is 60,000 metric tons of Basmati rice. Moreover, about 100,000 metric tons of rice is in transit, which is being offloaded by various shipping lines at any ports. We have cases where the cargo was destined for Jebel Ali port in Dubai. However, it was offloaded in Oman, or it was offloaded at the Salalah port. So it is a very concerning situation for all the exporters. And in many cases, the exporters had to even call back the cargo to India, which is a significant loss because, calling a single grain of rice back to India after it has been exported is almost 30% of the cost an exporter has to pay, which is a very significant cost in terms of rice because no exporter has such margins in their business. Moreover, today the insurance premiums have risen by almost 4 times. This is a very concerning situation because every rice consignment has to be covered by insurance. So beyond Middle East as well, all our exports today are at risk. Today, last year, we exported around 1,17,000 crores worth of exports, out of which nearly 60,000 crores came from the Middle East. But this entire 117,000 crores worth, 1,17,000 crores worth of export today will be very, very badly hit. We have seen in the domestic market that the price in the wholesale market, which is for 1509 Sela, which is around 70 rupees per kg, has fallen by 6 to 7 rupees per kg in the past 1 week. And in 2012, when Iran had stopped buying from India, we had seen this price hovering around 28 rupees per kg. Okay. So the prices in the domestic market also may fall. Okay. We are today in a similar situation that we were about 10 years ago when we had a bumper crop and Iran had stopped buying. This issue or this concern today is on steroids. Okay. Because other than Iran as well, all our exports will be hit. All our exports to the Middle East. Let's look at the top 5 countries to which we export.
Sure. Mr. Garg, just on account of paucity of time, I just wanted some information with regards to the containers which are stuck at this point in time. If you could just reiterate the amount which is in fact stuck at the ports when it comes to Basmati rice at this point, and what is the alternative that you all are thinking in order to remediate that?
Look, we have 3 situations in front of us. In the first scenario, the goods are stuck at the Indian ports. As per our estimate, that cargo is around 3,000 containers. That is roughly around 60,000 metric ton, which is lying at Indian ports. Majorly, this quantity is at Kandla and Mundra port in Gujarat, from where most of the exports to the Middle East happen. Next, if you look at the second scenario, then we have cargo which is in the ocean during transit. That quantity is estimated to be around 100,000 metric ton. And third are cargoes that have reached the destination. So those cargoes are also estimated to be in the range of about 150 to 200,000 metric ton. So in total, around 350 to 400,000 metric tons of Basmati rice is today at risk. Our monthly exports to the Middle East are around 400,000. Now, every situation has a different solution to it. For cargoes that are lying at Indian ports, exporters are trying to arrange for alternative routes for their cargo to reach the destination, which is very difficult in this scenario because we have seen that the shipping companies have imposed war surcharge of about $2,000 per container. I'll give you an illustration. In the case of Saudi Arabia, the freight cost is $600. And today, if you impose a war surcharge of $2,000, the freight cost has become $2,600 from $600, which is a jump of more than 400%, which no exporter can bear. So in these scenarios, the exporters are invoking the force majeure clauses, and they are also canceling their containers. But the shipping lines and the port are levying huge charges on these exporters. So we have requested the government to to pass a direction to the shipping companies as well as the port authorities to waive all the penal charges in cases where, because of bona fide reasons, exports could not be made.
Okay.
In the second scenario, where the cargo is in transit, there are two options. First, one, the exporter can divert their cargo to any other destination where they might have the distribution network. In many cases, exporters have diverted their cargo to Europe and to the North America, where they can sell their cargo. Or in the alternative, they can call back their cargo. But this is not an ideal situation because even if you go for any option, it will entail more than 20 to 30% cost of your goods, which is a very substantial loss for any exporter. Thirdly, any goods that have reached the destination or are hit by this conflict, those exports will have to wait because the entire distribution network in those foreign countries have been disturbed. The payments have been delayed and there is no clarity what will happen.
Right.
So we have requested the government to even extend a 25% COVID-like ad hoc facilities to all these exporters so their short-term working capital cycle can be eased.
Okay. Mr. Garg, just the one-word answer. We have already seen a fall coming in the rice prices, right, on the domestic front. How much more can this lead to if this continues? What is the anticipation? Would it go back to those levels that you were mentioning a decade ago? When we had seen
so the recipe for disaster is in front of us because 10 years ago also we saw the same macroeconomic situation and today also we are staring at the same situation. So it's anybody guess, it would be in the realm of speculation that how much the prices would fall. But yes, a substantial fall is expected in the coming future.
Okay. All right, Mr. Garg, we're going to leave it on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us.